top of me, kissing my chest. Baby, I'm curious. I wanna know how you look without your dress, and when your makeup's off, there's a mess.
What's up, strong friends? I am back to part 2 of this transformation insight video, whatever I'm calling it. Now, I had, I think, 7 or 8 questions from people that I did want to go through. I think they were really, really good questions, and I want to expand on them. I feel like me just trying to type little Instagram captions is not going to do this justice. So I really hope that these 7 or 8 questions and answers will give you a little bit more insight and help you out a little bit. How can I eat donuts and gelato and still make progress? Now, for me, personally, remember that I am in a caloric surplus, so I am trying to eat a lot of food right now. I eat donuts once every 1 to 2 weeks, so it's not all the time. And like I said in my last video, I've tracked it and I know that it's it's as accurate as possible. I did research, I did compare options, I did weigh it out, I did ask the restaurant for information where they sourced all of their food and everything from. So I do believe that is a very accurate representation of the macronutrients for the donut. I also give donut the same place every single time, so I know that it's consistent, at least with that. Now the gelato. Gotta tell you, the restaurant is called Alto's Gelato that I go to, but I actually get sorbet because based on my genetics and my DNA testing, I know that I don't digest lactose very well, and too much really bothers my stomach. So I actually go get the sorbet, so it's not actually like 800 calories in a scoop of gourmet gelato. It's like 100 or 150 calories of like fruit. So when you think that I'm eating all this fancy high calorie gelato, like it's not the gelato you think it is. It's sorbet, okay? Now I also want you to remember that just because you can do flexible dieting doesn't mean it always aligns with your goals. So just because you can fit donuts and gelato into your diet, or tacos or sushi or pizza or whatever it is, just because it can fit your macros does not mean that aligns with your goals. So I gotta be completely honest, if you're trying to fine tune your diet and lose body fat, donuts every week, it's not gonna happen. Don't do it. It's just going to be more variables. The more good things you put into your body, the more good changes you can expect to see. Plain and simple as that. Foods that I ate that helped build lean and toned muscle, a fancy word that I just talked about on an Instagram video like a couple weeks prior to making this video about being toned. I love doing that. Okay, so there are no foods that give you toned muscle. Muscle is muscle. There's no like trim and toned muscle, and there's no like big and buffy muscle. Like muscle's muscle, it is what it is. Now, there's no special foods that are going to build your toned muscle, like the tone that I'm giving you. So, muscle needs protein in order for muscle protein synthesis to occur. You also need carbohydrates and fats as supportive energy and digestion and body function. So, if you want to build muscle, whether it's toned muscle or big and buffy muscle, you need to be eating more than what your maintenance calories are. You can find your maintenance calories from the online calculators, which don't work. Don't actually do those. You can find your maintenance calories by what you are eating where your body stays the same. That's ultimately what your maintenance calories are. You need to be eating more than that in order to gain muscle. So you can eat protein, carbs, and fats. You can eat only protein, but as long as you are eating in a surplus, you're fueling your body with what you need, and your muscles with the food and the energy that it needs. You are going to build your muscle, whether it's toned muscle or big and buffy muscle. You're going to build it if you're eating in a caloric surplus. What were your macros, and how did they change over the course of that time? Now, this is over 4 years of changing macros, and in this little chart that I have made, this has been in 4 years of what my body weight is. So even though it's kind of like in a small scale, it's changing a little bit. I think there's probably about 30 pounds in total of like the high and the low. This also shows my carb intake on how it's literally skyrocketed, and my calorie intake. So the calorie intake, it's times 100, or sorry, times 10. So it's add whatever that number is plus a 0 at the end. I am currently at my highest point, eating about 2,600 calories, and 400 grams of that is carbohydrates. Now, to be completely honest, I really don't like sharing what my macros are, what they have been, because I really don't think it's fair for you to assume that just because it works for me does not mean it's going to work for you. And I know that a lot of people still kind of get caught up in that. Just because I'm very aware of this doesn't mean that everyone else is. So in like a little comparison, it's like you see me in this lovely Lululemon size 4 sports bra. No matter what size you are, you go buy this sports bra thinking, I'm gonna look just like her, and my hair is gonna look the exact same, and I'm gonna have these freckles because I'm wearing this sports bra. Like, it's not gonna happen. Just because this number works for me does not mean it's going to work for you. There's so many other factors that you have to take into consideration that you don't take into consideration when I do share my macros with you. So I'm not necessarily going to give you my rigid numbers. I'm gonna give you my carbs, and I'm gonna give you my total caloric intake, and however you wanna figure out the rest of the protein and the fats is totally up to you. Or you can just follow me on my macros plus, and you can check that out there also. Have you ever felt the need to take a break from macro counting? To be honest, no. I do it because I'm a data person. I love the consistency, and I know when I am on track with these numbers and stuff, I can see incredible results. So that's why I've gotten to this point, because I've been so disciplined, but I've also made it to the point where I love this lifestyle. I am so happy with it. I have no issue pulling out my phone and tracking stuff. Now, it's not always going to be accurate. If I go to restaurants, like, there are variables. I'm not saying I don't make the variables, like, they do happen, but I've gotten to the point where I just love this process so much that I've like adapted it into my lifestyle. So no, right now I really don't feel like I need to take a break from counting macros. And to be completely honest, since this transformation started in like 4 years ago, I've never felt the need to be like, I need to stop. There have been like, I think maybe, actually I don't even know if there have been a couple days. I'm not saying every day is accurate, every day was being like spot on. There have been days where I'm like, you know what, I'll just like kind of track an input at the end of the day, so at least I'm aware for later. But I've made it into such a lifestyle, and I'm so happy with it, and I love it. And like, I truly live and breathe food and fitness right now. Like, it's my business, it's who I am, it's my passion, it's my training, like, it's my sport, I enjoy it. So no. I hope that answers. How do I feel about tracking macros versus flexible dieting? Now, I, in my opinion, think this is the same question. You can be flexible with tracking macros. You can also be extremely rigid with tracking your macros. Flexible dieting can help you lose weight, but flexible dieting can also help you or make you gain unwanted weight. So how I feel, or my thoughts, I guess, on tracking macros versus flexible dieting, it depends in the context, I guess. So kind of think about it, but make sure whatever kind of diet or lifestyle or caption you want to follow, make sure it just aligns with your needs, your lifestyle, and your goals. This is a really good question. I really, really like this one. What was your lowest low during your transformation? Now, I don't know if this is mindset or weight, so I'm gonna kind of cover both of them. When you go back to the About Me section, and I kind of go in details, January 2017 was like a big crash and burn for me. I had gained 7 pounds of unwanted fat. Didn't go well for my mind. At that point, I was going through some body dysmorphia, and that 7-pound fat gain did not go very well with me. So, of course I knew what I was doing. Of course I knew all this bad stuff was going to happen, but I completely slashed my calories. I lost fat, of course, that's what I wanted. I also lost muscle, I lost energy, I lost mental health, I gained body dysmorphia. A lot of bad things came with the good of getting rid of the 7 pounds of body fat. So I think mentally that was my lowest low. At that point, I ended up going down to like 1,200 calories and like 100 grams of carbs, which was more than half cutting out my carb intake. I was over 200 grams of carbs at that point, and I went down to like 100. That was my lowest like mental low, I think. Weight, I don't know if that was my lowest body weight. I know at one point I did get down to, in this time frame, I did get down to like 112 pounds. That only lasted like a week or two, like it did not last long at all. But I know that previous to this transformation, I was at some points eating like 60 to 70 grams of carbs. So again, just because you are tracking your macros or you're doing flexible dieting doesn't actually mean that you're doing it properly. So I was eating like 60 to 70 grams of carbs before because I actually thought that carbs were the devil and they were gonna make me fat. Little do I know that now eating 400 grams of carbs still doesn't make me fat. Have you had extended bad moments with sticking to your diet? No. Even throughout this transformation, there were 2 points at the very beginning. I took a little break and then it happened again. I did work with 2 different coaches, or one was a good friend and one was an actual coach who did help me. Even during all of that time, I never felt like I really had bad moments enough where I needed to take a break or not stick to my diet. The second point, after cutting the second coach and gaining the 7 pounds of body fat, which happened at the same time, I still did follow a diet. I've been tracking my own macros and I've been doing my own coaching and guidance with that, so I kind of adjusted as I needed to. So I didn't really think that like taking a break or having bad moments of sticking to my diet were ever a problem. Again, because I did track so much data, I knew that if I did X, Y, Z, this is what was gonna happen. So I knew the results that would come as I stuck to my diet or as I still hit my macros. Those were the questions and I thought they were really good, so hopefully they're good for you as well. And I do want to finish off with this one little note, and I really, really hope that this can connect with you. Out of everything that you've watched in these 2 videos, I hope this is the one little thing that can connect with you at the very end. No matter what, at the end of the day, you're not gonna look like me. You don't train how I do. You don't eat the food that I do. You don't have the same sleep and poop schedule that I do. You don't have my genetics. You don't have my hormones. You don't have my body structure. And you don't have my discipline. Like, yes, you have your discipline, but you don't have my discipline, you know? Everyone is different. And if you have had the slightest thought or the one little thought in your brain, whether it's watching these 2 videos or following me on social media in the past or now, thank you, by the way, if you're a follower, comparing yourself to my journey, you're automatically letting yourself down. So I hope the information that I have provided over the last 2 videos have given you a lot of insight and awareness, especially how everyone is so different. So again, I do hope this has provided you information, insight, education, awareness, but if you have been looking for this like quick fix or know that like I'm gonna give you the magic results to something, it takes a damn long time. It takes a lot of data, a lot of information, a hell of a lot of consistency, adherence, and discipline. That's all I'm gonna tell you. So thanks for hanging out. If you do have questions, you can comment below. You can send me an email, CourtneyU@live.ca. Pop over to my website. I do have tons and tons of more information that I can give you in terms of nutrition, training, mindset, lifestyle. It's also a new website, so you can look at all the fancy photos that I have up on there. That's it, friends. I hope you have a strong day, whatever is going on in your day, your evening, whatever you're doing. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be right now. Stick to your journey, stay honest, and keep drinking your water. Adios, amigos.